Wow! This is Papa Zero here once again, and today we're looking at yet another majestic build. Some even called it, and I quote, middle of the road. So I decided, you know what? Yeah, I'll show it off, and I'll keep making these middle of the road builds like this.
You keep using that phrase. I do not think it means what you think it means.
Billy, where we're going, we don't need roads.
Roads.
What year is this?
1995, like your Windows operating system.
Well, Billy, I'll let you and the rest of the viewers on a little secret. My builds may not always be perfect, but at least I almost always have a nice, superfluous story to cleanse your palate with in case the build doesn't measure up. That said, this video was supposed to be about a completely different character, not even remotely close to what you're seeing here. I was toying with the Shatter Shard Shield again, but this time on a Pathfinder using low tolerance notables, which grant 300% increased poison damage on non-poison enemies. But let's just say there were too many issues, and even with a huge investment, it wouldn't be as good as the Ignite variant. But I'll talk more about that at the end of the video. So I scrapped the whole build, and instead we'll be showing you this one in its stead. I decided to create one last Squire Shield, not to be confused with the Split Skull Shield. But just so you know, it's not a requirement in order to play this build, and I'll explain why in a bit. Sometimes I buy or craft items without even knowing what I'll use them for. So, not knowing exactly what I was going to make this time around, and specifically in this league, I sometimes let the Crucible Furnace take the wheel and show me the path I shall take. After baking few maces, swords, and lastly, a claw, I got something rather interesting. A life gained on hit, Withering Touch, and the 50% chance to get Soul Eater on a killing blow using double strike or dual strike crucible notables appeared on a 6-link claw in my possession. So I looked at Billy and we both knew what was to come. Yes, the legendary Predator movie handshake. You know, the one where Apollo Creed and Conan the Barbarian shake hands? Ultimate-like? Yeah, that one. As our palms slapped together and our grips tightened, I said out loud, and I'm paraphrasing here, let's do this.
How many old movie references are you gonna make, Papa Z?
As many as it takes to create 1.21 gigawatts. Alright, back to the claw. So as soon as I saw it, I fired up the POBs and started messing around with different setups and ascendancies. Can I make a ridiculous life gainage on attacks for no good reason at all? Really, I was thinking maybe I could tank the Shaper Beam, or 3 from Uber Shapers? Wait, is the level 85 Uber, or does he have to be in the Elder's realm for him to be Uber? Maybe this is an Uber Lite version? I just don't know. Anyway, I came very close to building this as a Necromancer because of the mana cost being so high. I was gonna combine it with Katava's Thirst Helm and have Corpse Pact Node do some serious work. But at the last minute, I thought the Raider Ascendancy would be a more consistent way to go, especially for defenses and the attack speeds. And since I had a nice pair of Snakebite gloves and Dark Ray Vector boots in my stash already, it was no brainer. What I came up with was a solid 162 life gained on each hit. The embedded level 15 Crucible life gained on hit support gives me 34. The claws implicit gives me 46. Belt 27. Watcher's Eye 20. And the passive tree nodes, including a mastery, gives me 35.
Why are the flash charges refilling by themselves? Again. You're secretly playing a Pathfinder right now, aren't you?
Hey, I don't appreciate the allegations. This is a Raider, okay? A completely different ascendancy. Not even closely, remotely close to a Pathfinder, okay? Just because I have Forbidden Jewels granting me Nature's Adrenaline and Brutal Restraint Jewel granting me the Traitor Keystone does not give you the right to call this a pseudo Pathfinder. Those things are just a requirement when one plays a non-Pathfinder Ranger. Alright, let's go over the build. And the gear, yeah, in detail. Just to be clear, you don't need the Squire shield. Having a better shield here, specifically one that complements the defenses, will go a long way. I'll go over those in a minute. The claw I'm using is only a 270 fizz weapon with basically withering touch support. Since we are a poison build, the Soul Eater is a bit inconsistent, but I had a blast using it when it procced. Feel free to use Molten Strike or any other melee skills that you like more. Using, for example, the Covenant armor and putting your 6th link into it will net you roughly 20% more damage. Yes, you heard correctly. Grabbing a Glorious Vanity Jewel is just one example of getting you Withering Touch back into the build if you want it on hit. And there are always different ways to build your defenses. Helm, damage, life, nice. Coil of the Light with 5% life corruption. Bite of the Snake for that sweet damage increase with temp chain corruption. Dark Vectoring Rays for defenses with a nice corruption. Owls. I got nothing for this one. With Life and Evasion Anointment. Throwing Whispers of Doom Anointment on it and using Despair Curse will net you much, much more damage. 2 almost identical rings that provide attributes, life, and chaos res. And an amazing belt for this build since I have no need for armor or energy shield. It gives me Culling Strike, life gained on hit, and more importantly, mana gained on hit so we can actually attack. As mentioned before, I wanted permanent flasks uptime so I don't have to worry about resistances on my gear, which I accomplished with Forbidden Jewels and the Traitor Keystone. The only flask that's not permanent is Sin's Rebirth, but that one is not critical to have up 100% of the time. And once again, I pulled out this little nugget from the darkest crevasse of my stash, which was covered in cobwebs, but it fits this build perfectly. Overall, at max frenzy charges, I have 50k evasion, 59 physical damage taken as lightning damage, not bad. I could have gone the extra mile and get rings with life gained on hit and do other things, but this is how I built it. Just a quick note on the Shatter Shard Shield build I attempted to make. I made 5 different iterations of the build and spent a little bit of monies, okay? And it was always missing something. I tried replica roomies with combs, roots, which I had to sacrifice a ton of flasks for. I tried regular roomies, but then I would only have 50% block or so, which made it even more inconsistent since you have to get hit in order to do damage. The shield shatters and that's how you do damage. I even went out of my way to get skill effect reduction to have the shield shatter only take 0.66 seconds to replenish. I mean, the default is 4. But even then, it just never felt good. And then I had to sacrifice a lot of damage for life and survivability because once your shield is gone, you're at 0-0 block. So good luck with punches to the face. Lastly, as much as I love Pathfinders, Master Toxicist just sucks at propagating the poison. It's not like Barracks Respite Ring where 2 screens worth of monsters get obliterated. I have included 2 of the 5 iteration POBs down below in the description, so take them, use them, make them better. If you make a usable build, I'd love to see it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time with another beautiful build. Superfluous story to cleanse your palate with